pod. So a couple of things that kind of bottlenecked the seed a little bit, which might have played to Furaime's advantage a little bit. I think execution-wise might have a bit of an edge there. So if we see some interesting routing from JCopes, might be able to make it up in game 2 here. And wow, we're underway already.
Indeed, seed is sub 2 hours guaranteed, so we have a guarantee from the seed itself, which I'm kind of curious might mean that it's a flute at the start. Wow. That early flute last game, we get an early flute second time in a row for our runners. A real quick check from Furaime there.
Looks like we had the blue pendant in Desert Palace and then just regular crystals for Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera.
And it sure looks like that was the case there. See both of our runners going in here. They're going to get their weapon to start with. I wonder what it'll be. They got a whole bunch of bombs last time. Did you get more bombs, or did we get something else? We're going to get the hammer to start with. Okay.
That's excellent. After the last seed that they had, where Hammer was deep in pod there, much relief from both runners, I'm sure, to see that Hammer early on.
And the Fisher Price Shield to start with. Can pick up some magic here from the pots. And we will get to see what lies ahead here inside of the castle.
So a quick shout out to our tracker for the second race here. It's Reg doing the button pushing behind the scenes there. So thank you very much for taking care of that for us.
Indeed. One of the nice things about not having... there's actually a bomb drop there from Furaime. JCopes will want to get one as well. But one of the nice things is not having bombs as your starting item means that you can't possibly run out of bombs on Key Rat. Oh, and there's a bomb for JCopes. So they should both be set for the escape side room there with 3 chests.
Yeah, finding that bomb early on is really nice so they can just kind of rush through the rest of this escape sequence.
Indeed. So I'm going to start off with a little piece of heart there. And chat asking, does everybody go left in castle? Well, for the most part, yes, but there's not really a time advantage to going left versus going right. It's kind of up to the runner.
Yeah, it's really interesting that there is very little divergence among runners when it comes to left or right in Hyrule Castle. It's almost 100% across the board there that everyone's going left.
I feel like just that's because the way that people would do it during the speed run, and so everyone's just kind of like, oh, well, that's the way to do it. And then other people watch those people and are like, oh, well, they go left. There must be a reason, you know, Andy goes left and Furaime goes left and Christos goes left. And no, it's probably just, you know, that's the way they do it and everyone else does it now.
Yeah, and as our trackers point out in chat, might be a lower variance when it comes to the RNG. And I think I tend to agree. You're not going to get trolled by any of the guards. They kind of stick to the same kind of patterns.
Yeah. Plus, if you normally go left that way, you just kind of, you know what to expect that way. You know, there's just 2 guards there. The 2 short sword guards and the 1 long sword green guard you just have to worry about.
Picking up just a heart container in Zelda's chest there, which is a nice find early on. The more health, the better.
Might have been Sank card even, so that's probably not the best time to pick that up because you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit on the refill there.
Yeah, good point.
But we'll see both runners progress up to the throne room and make their way through the sewer, as is typical here, about neck and neck, as you would expect at this point.
Yeah, I can't believe this sync right now. It's just insane.
And just a little bit of farming there from JCopes, maybe trying to see if he can get an extra bomb out of one of the guards, or perhaps even simply trying to clear the way.
Yeah, I mean, they got that bomb drop right off the start there with pretty much the first guard that they hit, so might as well see what else you can maybe dig out from the item pool there.
Indeed. So just to give you, in case you don't know, just to give you a little bit of background on the runners and their tournament so far, JCopes went 5-2 in Swiss, has two 2-1 wins over Big Dunka in the first round, Jay Meisher in the round of 64. Though that one did have a replayed game 3 due to a game crash. And Jacob says in his biography, it says he likes the troll. So we will see if we get the troll here. And of course, picking up that key in that chest, that's the only place it can be, being that we're still missing a map. Of course, taking care of key right here, Furaime, who, by the way, is 6-1 in Swiss, tied for 5th overall with number play based on the record and Buchholz score. And of course, Furaime has quite a pedigree, having finished top 8 in Key Sanity and Entrance Shuffle tournaments. Here's the map, and 50 rupees and the glove, of course. So that's a nice find. We're 2/3 of the way to Dark World access. Was a top 16 competitor as well, Furaime, in the Falls 2017 tournament. Just missed out on auto qualifying. Was defeated by Gerdo in round 1. And of course is the 2v2 Mystery Seed tournament co-champ with his teammate, who's also still alive in the tournament, Kyong92.
So just a shade over 6 minutes here for the escape sequence. So not bad from both runners here.
And a big 20 in that chest there. So 6 minutes is fairly respectable, fairly common for a lot of runners. You'll see about 6.5 minutes. Kind of depends, variance on the weapon that you get and what you find in escape.
So Furaime not going for Lumberjack Cave right now, which is pretty common strategy these days, although we see JCopes is going to be going for it. Take a look, see what might be hanging out there.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting decision that we're seeing more runners take, is to skip this Lumberjack ledge until you absolutely have to know, do I have to go up there? Do I have the boots to be able to get up there anyways? Versus having that early knowledge, knowing, okay, do I need that? There's a lamp in the... Ooh, is that silver arrows? I think I saw silver arrows on the ledge.
It looked like it was something with, some text on the bottom, so maybe it might have been an upgrade, but we'll see.
It could have been. I wasn't too sure. I did definitely see. I couldn't tell if that was a 5 or if it was silver arrows. It might have been a... Yeah, it might have been a +5 arrow upgrade too. That's a possibility.
So that is definitely not going to draw our runners to an immediate Aghanim play.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning there just a moment ago, it's a little bit of, do I want that early knowledge or do I want the early time and just skip it until, I might need it later. Ooh, there's the mitts again with the early mitts.
Still missing that one piece of Dark World access, the Moon Pearl, but that's a pretty nice find picking up the mitts early on.
Indeed, that would put Death Mountain into logic as well, I think. With the lamp and the mitts, obviously, you've got a whole lot of Death Mountain that is open once you find that mirror.
Yeah, just a couple little pieces missing to the puzzle here, and then we have a seat that's pretty wide open.
Indeed, and chat mentioned that was +5 arrows on the ledge there, so yeah, that is definitely skippable for JCopes. We'll get to see what's in the back of the well here. There's the silvers.
Nice.
And the first sword right there in the well for Furaime. And more bombs at the vendor. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise, remove your hats for the Spike Deck National Anthem.
That, of course, was the muted version of the anthem. We'll be hearing it on JCopes' side in just a second.
Yes, indeed. You can make up your own anthem in that case. Here's a real one.
Yeah.
There's the hook shot. Okay.
Wow.
Just switched from Dark World to Light World for match number 2, but yeah, Death Mountain. I think it's screaming go to Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, I guess the one thing you'd be hoping for is maybe to find the Moon Pearl before heading up there so that you could take care of both Light and Dark World in one go. But there's a lot of value up there now, even just the Light World chests in Paradox and whatnot. So I have to see what they decide to do.
Just a big 50 in the library ledge, so kind of stepping back a little bit from the rush here, and Furaime's going to go ahead and do a blind maze check rather than jumping down to see what's there and maybe having to walk back. It's a big 300. Might as well pick it up.
Yeah, that's some nice Zora money right there.
And once again, seeing our runners go ahead and make use of that flute very early on. Furaime using the hookshot glitch trick there to go through the moving block. JCopes is making the play.
Yeah, we're seeing some divergence here. It makes sense to head up that mountain. You've got a lot of items to check there.
Got a slightly damp blue mail there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, we'll see JCopes go ahead probably and do the Eastern Death Mountain path here, maybe into Tower of Hera, which is a crystal dungeon. While Furaime goes ahead and clears out Mini Moldworm Cave, kind of keeping with the more traditional routing. Oh, half magic and the Dead Rock kind of blocking that entrance there. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, those are two nice finds there for Furaime in the Mini Moldworm Cave there.
Absolutely. That's certainly going to go ahead and put Death Mountain in the plan. I think Furaime may go ahead and... Not going to go ahead and check Ice Rock Cave first, and then probably go up to Death Mountain. Clear out all this stuff. There's a fire rod inside a Spectacle Rock.
Yikes, this seat is making me nervous here. It feels like it's a jet, but I wonder if something's gonna lag behind and kind of throw a wrench in the plans here.
Always does, Sabo. Always does. But
Yeah,
I think Uncle wasn't lying. When this could be a sub 2 easily. This could be like a sub 130 very easily if they keep getting items like this.
Yeah, really. JCopes was going for a really tricky bomb jump there. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get it, but a valiant effort nonetheless.
Meanwhile, Furaime doing some really cool little tech there, getting to do the water walk over to Waterfall Cave just to check this out. Oh, gonna have to lost the walk status. Gonna have to go back in again, open up that second chest.
It's the Cave of Love.
And we'll get an idea, at least what's on Zora Ledge. Furaime is gonna be just a bit short of picking up just a little bit of love. But yeah, we'll be short on the rupees. Gonna have to come back to see if Zora's got something. Maybe it won't come back. Never know.
Oh wow, going back and checking out Hobo, it looks like here.
There's Ether up on the Lake Hilly Island. And JCopes, meanwhile, there's the Ice Rod. Okay. Well, that settles that question.
Wow. The items, they just keep on coming here.
Indeed, and Jacob's now going to do top half Paradox Cave while Hobo gives Furaime just a little bit of love. And I just thought it was the tricky item. That was the go mode item in the last game. Did not see that until almost an hour and a half. And there's the bow! Oh my.
I guess the only worry for me here with JCopes picking up the bow is that gives him access to Eastern Palace as well, so it'll put off possibly heading down to South Shore for the boots and Moon Pearl.
It might, but I also don't know if that will hurt. They'll hurt him a little bit too much, a little bit on the speed, but it won't hurt him so far. It looks like on the item checks. We're looking at Bonk Rocks as well from Furaime. Did not find too much in either of these chests, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that long walk through Spiral Cave netted just a big 20 there for JCopes.
Of course, Furaime now checking and finding the sad truth that there's no reason to go up on Lumberjack Ledge. Ooh. Now it looks like Furaime may go into Eastern Palace first.
Yeah, just being very thorough about clearing everything out before heading up the mountain. So I can understand why you're not taking the bait. You know, you think you get the flute, you got a couple of items that'll get you around on Death Mountain, but you're waiting, you're holding off before making that commitment up there.
Absolutely. Jacob's going to dive in a Tower of Hera. This is the first crystal dungeon that we've seen so far. Actually, Furaime may be going up to Death Mountain now. Here's the shovel. You get yourself a death warp there. And Tower of Hera says, go with the basement.
Yep, we got both fire sources, so not a problem there. Couldn't quite get the coffee break on the first try there.
I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time setting it up for the second here. Dodging some of these tiles. A little bit trickier to set up. There we go. I think he's got it this time. But once you get those tiles moving, it's a little bit harder to get that set up again. And setting up another death warp.
Alrighty, and JCopes heading up the tower now.
Furaime will be making that play over to Eastern Death Mountain. We'll be a little bit quicker having the boots. Can also go ahead and do some of the Dark World stuff with the Pearl. So perhaps we'll get to see some of those Dark Death Mountain locations like Hookshot Cave, like Super Bunny Cave that we've missed out on so far.
And we might also get a Dark World map check. We'll find out what the medallion for Turtle Rock is, if that's going to be required at all.
And to keep in mind, we do have 2 pendants that are going to be in the Dark World here, so only 5 crystals to go. Well, JCopes is making the trip up to meet Moldorm. I'm using a hammer. One's a little tricky because the fact that the hammer has a small hitbox and Moldorm's tail also has a small hitbox, so not always easy to do, but if you're in a top 32, our runners are going to make it look really easy. In the burrito and the crystal, first crystal at 20 minutes and 10 seconds to JCopes, but Furaime will be not too far behind.
All right, so it looks like Furaime is going to be heading over to Tower of Hera first, finish this off, then come back and do the Dark Death Mountain stuff.
And I think he skipped the Spiral Cave at the moment, but that's not going to hurt too much. There's not anything of value in there. Meanwhile, JCopes is going down to check out the dig spot.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you just picked up that shovel in Hera there, so might as well take care of this check as soon as you can.
And it's just a big 20. So I assume we're going to see JCopes go in here, and he's going to go ahead and dip into Eastern Palace to start with. Skipping Sarsaparilla, but that's okay because not really anything of value there besides a heart that would just give a little bit of extra safety here, but probably won't need it.
So there are potential for 3 items here in Eastern Palace. We'll see if there's any more interesting progression items to be found. We've been doing so pretty good so far. Just the compass in the first chest here.
And of course, that means that the map is still out there somewhere, and our 3 items. Key has to be in the front here somewhere because you can't get to Armos Knights without that. So JCopes will find that, be able to open up that big chest. There's the mirror. That's good. That's a good find.
Yeah, wow, we've got quite a lot of stuff here. That mirror is a nice find for sure.
So yeah, kind of an interesting logic here. Perhaps the game may want you to go up to East Death Mountain to get that bow, and then come back down and go do Armos Knights.
Yeah, definitely.
What? Good question from the chat. What is the earliest go mode on record? Oh boy.
I think it must be one of the like version 18 seeds from like, I don't know, about a year or so ago when the item pool was a little bit more generous and more front loaded. I want to say it was probably like, I don't know, 30 minutes in is probably the earliest go mode.
Earliest I've seen this tournament and the match that I've called has been 40 minutes. So it absolutely can never really go mode. And it's kind of weird that we're sitting here at 24 minutes already discussing, okay, what do we need for go mode besides the Master Sword? Probably Canis Samaria, I would guess, and at least I'd assume one of the medallions, unless there's some kind of weird situation where the 2 pendants are, there's Quake, okay, so that'll help. Where the 2 medallions, Dungeons, Meyer, and Torrock are not cane required. They're not required for getting into GT. In which case, we still need the flippers. That is kind of a missing item at this point.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that we do have so very much already on the table here, yeah, there are a couple items that we definitely are missing. So you never know where those might be hanging out.
Yeah, I believe Christos had the had a 10. Christos had a 105 in the fall tournament. Gloin did have a 107 in this tournament, so Gloin had a pretty close to record time earlier.
So pretty interesting there. It's green pendant Turtle Rock, red pendant in Misery Mire. 5-6 crystals. I didn't quite catch those. I think one of them was Pod, and Skull Woods is the other.
Boy, Sabo, we were just talking about that. Like, oh, it's unless both of those are pendants, they won't need to worry about that. What?
So I mean,
They're
that
both.
Yikes! That takes Canis Samaria almost out of the picture entirely. Potentially, that mean that if GT Big Key is on the right side, then our runners are going to need Kane. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Kane could be needed for Ganon's Tower. There's a couple of locations where that might be needed for progression through there. Boots as well, but we know where those are. And Frame, unfortunately, checking Super Bunny Cave, not coming up with anything. Gonna check Hookshot Cave here. Alright, that's number 1. Nothing there. Strike 1. Oh, there's some Master Sword. That's a good find. Big 20. And a big 50. So 1 for 4.
And we see a Quake required to get into Turtle Rock. So we found that in Eastern Palace. JCopes is going to be checking out the Mire area. We got the Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, and he'll be able to get into Desert Palace this way. It looks like Frame is right behind as well, thinking the same thing.
Yes, indeed. He's going to have to use the Super Bunny here. Oh, actually going to go into Desert Palace.
Oh, that's right. JCopes doesn't have the Moon Pearl yet.
Yep, has not picked that up yet. There's the flips.
Ooh, yikes. I mean, so if you're gambling that right side GT is not a thing, then you're basically in go mode. I mean, Frame has to get the mirror from Eastern Palace, and that's it.
So 27-minute no mode. I don't even know what this is anymore. What are you, Seed? Oh, and Boots locks on Desert Palace there.
So I mean, do you look around for Kane, or?
Oh, there's the sword upgrade. Both runners picking up. Hype Cave check. Just a big 10 arrows. Frame going to go ahead and open up the first chest. Big 20. Big 20. Bottle. And a big 20. Welcome to Big 20 Cave, everybody. JCopes checking Checkerboard Cave now. And it's just 10 bombs.
Looks like Frame is heading over to Pyramid, might go up to Catfish, and then is likely going to do probably Pod Eastern at the same time here.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I guess you can't mirror out to Eastern Palace because the mirror is in Eastern Palace.
So very interesting that Quake again is the key to unlocking both medallion dungeons. Second game in a row we've had that. Which means that we don't need to go to Lake Hilly Island for that ether. And I think JCopes is going to go ahead and do the thing.
This is actually pretty good for JCopes. I mean, in the early stages of the run, it looked like putting off the South Shore was kind of strike against him here. But doing it in this order, he's going to pick up Boots and Moon Pearl, and he's going to be in the exact same situation as Furaime, except he's got the mirror in hand, so he knows that if he's willing to gamble on it, he's in go mode more or less until we find out what's on, if the big key in Ganon's tower is on right side.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go ahead too and grab that, grab those flippers out of here. Furaime making the play into pod.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, flippers in the Myers shed, right?
Correct. Myers shed right chest. And JCopes about to find those booties and that pearl. And Furaime, meanwhile, not going to find the mirror quite yet until he goes in the Eastern Palace. JCopes I think gonna go into pod as well here.
This is really interesting. I mean, both our runners are like one piece away from being able to like big time gamble here. But with so many items, they have so many dungeons that they can look in. Whether or not they end up finding the item that they're missing, it's up in the air at this point.
Yeah, the one nice thing for JCopes at the very least is that he will be able to go ahead and just clear through a lot of things, and if he happens to find King Samaria, then we're absolutely in go mode at that point. Don't have to worry about GT trolling us for anything. Well, we're kind of in like a, it's kind of weird. We're in like a pseudo no mode at this point, because the only thing we don't know is that the Cane of Samaria is going to be needed and where it's at.
Yeah, I feel like in a seed like this one, you've got everything you need to finish off the game, basically. I think you have to gamble that that Cane is not going to be required at all, and you just go for it.
I would think so as well. Especially if you're JCopes, you got to make that gamble, because you're probably thinking if you get an early go mode, Furaime may already be in that mode, and you don't want to be making unnecessary plays at that point, because every second's going to count. And we know just from history here, as Furaime goes ahead and looking like trying to set up the hammer jump, got it. But Furaime has a history of making, top 8, top 16 in these tournaments. So you know you're going up against somebody who's really good, with a really good track record. And usually against those runners, you can't make mistakes. You just can't go the wrong way one time and mess it up. And actually, Furaime gonna have to death warp out. Doesn't have the mirror, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in JCopes' shoes, and you're up against Furaime here, and you're down a game in your best of 3 here, I feel like even though you don't want to necessarily change your gameplay style too much, you have to maybe make a couple of gambles. And I think if he picks up the flippers early, he's probably going to figure, I got to go for it. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out.
Yeah, will be very interesting to see if he remembers he hasn't checked Myers shed yet, despite having gone all the way over to Desert Palace.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's working against him here. Having already been over to that area, is he thinking that he's going to revisit that spot, or do you use all the many items that you have and clear out other dungeons? I'm thinking that, Skullwoods and Thieves Town are both crystals. I think it's very likely we'll see our runners head over in that direction, which will only kind of drag this out a little longer.
Absolutely. Those are the two that you can go ahead and complete right now based on what you got. Obviously, without the flippers, we can't see a Swamp Palace or really an Ice Palace from JCopes. And Furaime does have the flippers, so we'll be able to go ahead and go over there if so choosing to. And missing the hammer jump there. So I'm gonna just go back, save some time, and go through the normal way. Meanwhile, Furaime gonna be visiting our favorite king, the Helmsor King. And one of the cool little things too is see those little chunks of mask that are falling out. In case you don't know, first chunk comes out in the first hit, second chunk comes out in the 9th hit, and the mask shatters on hit number 17. And then after that, just need one single arrow into the green spot, and boom goes the dynamite.
Nice.
Can get a bottle for his effort.
Wow, I think that's all 4 bottles as well. The seed is just loaded in all respects here.
It's very interesting to see where his Furaime go. It looks like it's going to be just the Eastern Palace, so we'll be picking up that mirror first. And that's going to put him into pseudo go mode here, dependent upon if we happen to need the cane.
I feel like for Furaime, it's probably going to be a no-brainer here to just go for it. And if worse comes to worse, and it turns out that you do need the cane, I mean, it's a lot of backtracking and kind of double-dipping some dungeons, but I think he trusts his execution enough to have to go back if he needs to.
Absolutely. So we're going to be seeing a... this will definitely be the fastest. If it stays go mode, if we don't need Kin of Samaria, then this will certainly be the fastest go mode I've seen in the tournament here. And so at 37:31, Furaime quite possibly in go mode.
That's just nuts. This is really hype.
Absolutely. I can't remember which race it was, but it was a 39-30 something go mode. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look back through and trying to remember which match I called for that. But JCopes is going to be working on Helmsor King in just a moment here.
It was a really nice looking Helmsor King fight from JCopes there.
Absolutely. Doing a really nice job. So JCopes does have, let's see where, flute, going back to the light world. So interesting to see where we flute to. Do we flute to 3 or do we flute to 6? We flute to 3. So it's going to be a Thieves Town Swamp Skullwoods play. And a Sick Kid check.
Meanwhile, Furaime demolishes the Armless Knights there with some excellent silver arrows kind of radiating out from the center of the battle there. Took them all out in like what seemed like a second.
Yeah, I think Furame's going to make the gamble about being in go mode here, and it's just going to pulverize everything from this point on. Just be like, I don't need Canis Samaria. I'm going to go ahead and just do all of this as quickly as I can and pray that I made the right call. Got ourselves some dungeon sync. This Furaime dipping into the front half of Thieves Town. JCopes going into the back half, getting the big key right out of the bat.
And JCopes heading right for the back here of Skullwoods. Might work his way back to front, or might just be thinking that, I don't know, I wonder what he's thinking about where the flippers might be. Is he going to go mode some things, or is he going to still be very thorough?
Probably will check. I would assume we'll see him check all of these chests up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one item, so that'll help a little bit. And flippers, for those wondering, flippers are in Myra's Shed, which JCopes did not have the Moon Pearl, could not check it at the time. Got it after dipping into Desert Palace. And looks like we're still seeing Furaime open up some chests, probably looking for a tempered sword.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the neighborhood, might as well grab a chest if it's right there. You're hoping for a little bit more life, or a mail upgrade, or a hammer. A sword.
Yes, indeed. Really would love to find tempered. We know where the tempered is. If Furaime wants to go ahead and dip into Desert Palace, which would be way out of the way because that is a pendant dungeon, that would get him a tempered that they're looking for. Unless the 4th sword upgrade is hiding out somewhere here. JCopes having a little bit of trouble on Mouthfeel again. This time got it without having to use the cape because it didn't have it. And Burrito or shovels.
Alrighty, Furaime enters the blind fight here. Should be no problem to keep him on script here.
Yes, indeed. And I believe Furaime's next visit will be to the back half of Skullwoods, I would assume. JCopes is trying to get that Wallmaster to spawn down so it doesn't grab him.
So Furaime picking up a red mail off of blind there.
Both owners right now in Skullwoods. We'll be passing each other in just a moment. There's Book of Medora. The second item out of Skullwoods.
So that's good for JCopes that the items were found relatively quickly in Skullwoods. You can just kind of move on. I don't think that it's going to push him any closer to Myra's Shed, but at least it's that dungeon is complete now.
I'm going to go ahead and check up here, check Bumper Cave. And maybe go ahead and do some of those location checks that we were looking at earlier.
Yeah, Bonk Rocks. Graveyard Ledge we haven't seen yet, so that'll be a new check.
Indeed. So keep in mind, folks, Ped, for those of wondering, Ped's like dead at this point. It's dead, buried,
Yeah.
thrown in a ditch, and completely decomposed because there's no chance there can be anything on Ped that's worthwhile to our runners.
I mean, yeah, it can't even be Cane of Samaria, which would be the one thing that we might need at some point. So, yeah.
Yep. So as long as we don't have a right side GT key, our runners are not going to have to go fishing about trying to find Cane of Samaria at this point.
So, blink and you missed it. Furaime is already done with Mothula here, so gonna be moving on to Ice Palace and Swamp Palace, and that'll be the last 2 crystals.
Yeah, 5 crystals at 45 minutes is insane pace. And he gets to go mode these 2 dungeons, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I think JCopes needs Cane to be locked and needs Cane to be in a place that Furaime's gonna miss.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing here. You know, we're watching Furaime kind of blaze through everything, which is, you know, amazing to witness. But at the same time, yeah, the Cane could still be out there, and that's the kind of break that JCopes is going to need to have a chance in this race here. But I mean, that's a couple of chests on the right side, Gannis Tower. That it could be required.
Yeah, there's 5 chests there, tile room, and the 4 chests for the compass. That's about it's about all we got over there. But you would be surprised how many times that key shows up in one of those compass chests. It likes to hide there every once in a while, especially if you're kind of hinted to go left first.
So looks like JCopes going to be checking out Stumpy, Cave 45, and maybe the digging game as well.
No, it's the wrong color cane, but there is a cane there. That's Stumpy. The absolute worst case thing right now for Furaime would be to do all of that, find out that you are cane locked for Ganon's Tower, and now you've got to go back and do all the dungeons again, trying to hunt this down.
Yeah, it would be a real pain. It's so disappointing when like you're on such a good pace here to have to backtrack through literally all of the game to try and find this one item. Really nice pot knowledge there from Furaime as well, picking up 5 arrows from that one pot. You know, I mean, you're going to need them for Ganon's Tower, so might as well try and stock up while you can.
Absolutely, and for Ganon, the Ganon fight too. Yeah, fortunately for running this, gonna go ahead and keep checking some of those chests there just because they're convenient. Might as well looking for that sword upgrade, but yeah, that's one of the things that as a runner you take gambles, you take risks. Like, I don't need this, and then when you do need it, it becomes, oh no.
Yeah.
Not to mention the mental block that puts on you, and it tilts you into a plane that would make the planet Uranus kind of blush a little bit there.
Yeah. Furaim's Argus fight, not quite as clean as in the first match, but still making pretty quick work. Oh, very nicely done there.
Mm-hmm. Having to use the sword to kind of, the Master Sword to kind of deal with that. And that's crystal number 6 at 50 minutes. We'll be hopping on over to Ice Palace here in just a moment. We'll go mode the heck out of this.
Yeah, that should only be another, I don't know, 3 minutes or so in that dungeon. So yeah, sub 1 hour we'll be heading up to Ganon's Tower, and we'll soon know whether or not we need Cane of Samaria or not.
This is going to be dumb. It's going to be like the first game. The Cane of Samaria is going to be in that first chest. And then the big key will be in the second one.
Yeah, right.
Just all getting settled in here in the seats. Like, no, I'm going to go really fast.
Alrighty, so JCopes is heading into Thieves Town here. So Furaime did skip out on the big chest in here. So I think actually quite a few chests, but that one, the big chest is kind of a bigger one, I think. If JCopes checks that and that's the cane and we do need that. Oh, well, there.
Well, that was one that Furaime missed.
So now I'm just thinking about the likelihood that Thieves Town is one of the dungeons that Furaime chooses to go to first in the event that we do need to go back. It's probably a pretty quick and easy one. So if it was like left side swamp or something, then it might take Furaime a little bit longer to get there. But you know, one of the first 4 in Thieves Town, he's probably going to go back for that one sooner rather than later if he needs it.
Absolutely. So we are in guaranteed no mode at the very least, if not go mode at this point, dependent upon that big key placement in GT. But we know where everything is if that's on the right side. We know where Furaime needs to go. It'll be the second chest in Thieves Town. We'll have the Cane of Samaria. And what's more, JCopes is going to run out of dungeons here. Maybe that will start to push a visit to Myershed to find the flips and put him into a 100% pure, absolutely cannot miss go mode at that point.
Yeah, I think based on density when it comes to locations, he might end up going up to Dark Death Mountain first, but then after that, I mean, yeah, Myershed probably the next bet after that.
That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for JCopes. Would be able to pick up that Tempered Sword and make some of the GT stuff as well a little bit easier. And Furaime very quickly picking up the 7th crystal there. Thank goodness, but we have to start talking about the game now.
I just thought about that too. Yeah. Oh my. Wow. Okay. So this is a kind of a strange situation to be in, but we're already making our way up to Ganon's Tower here. So if we're looking for the big key, it is in one of the 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. And if you put a number in the chat as a guess, we'll hopefully you'll be right. If you subscribe to the Speed Gaming channels, or if you donated 250 bits across the channels, you can get onto our leaderboard if you are in fact the correct guess.
Unfortunately, bot may be down at this point. I did just try and it did not seem to work. So
Okay, well that's
Okay, well,
I think the bot kind of knows here that this is kind of a weird situation, so even the bot's holding off here.
indeed. But in any case, you can still put your guess in the chat, and you can win. Well, I can't say fabulous cash and prizes because we don't have. I have like 30 cents on my desk I can give you.
Sweet, yeah. Throw that in an envelope and send it away.
Yeah, you may have to pay for. You have to pay the postage. But... Don't tell them the postage costs more. But we are going to see Furaime go into GT here about 56 minutes. That's super fast. Now, the only caveat to that is I don't think we're going to see him get a 105 unless we get a really early key here.
Yeah, if we find it right off the bat, then we could be talking like 103, although we do only have Master Sword, so it slows things down a little bit. But I would, yeah, 105 would be unreal.
It could be a tournament best, dependent upon if we find it like tempered somewhere in here, maybe. But right now, tournament best is a 107 something from Gloin, so that is certainly within reason.
And I mean, so here's something interesting. I mean, JCopes just picked up the flippers here, so he is in fully, completely, 100% go mode at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, Furaime's gonna go check that left side, hoping that this big key shows up on one of these chests over here. One of these 14 remaining locations. And there's 2 more keys.
Loading up on small keys.
Oh, there's tempered. That's a good find. And the boomerang. So we know where all 4 of the swords are. We got 10 more chests to check. Starting with double bar room here. Number 8. Nope. So to keep in mind, JCopes is going to go through these last 2 dungeons now with the flippers without having to grab anything else. He will be on gold sword going through here, which won't make a whole lot of difference now that Furaime's got the tempered. Alright, rando room. Numbers 10 through 13.
Jeez, this is pretty tense here.
Yeah, normally with a gap like this, you'd be like, oh, well, Furaime's got this, but not yet. We've got 8 more chests to open up here. There's 1, 11, 12, 13. No?
Oh my.
So there's 4 more to go. Bob's chest and the 3 behind the Armos Knights. Bob's chest is rather uncommon for a big key. The 3 behind the Armos Knights, the vanilla location is actually there's a 1 in 22 chance, but it seems to like to put it there quite a bit. So
if it's not down there, then Furaime's got like, I don't know, about a 5 or 6 minute buffer to try and figure out where this might be.
Yeah, he's basically got, there's Bob's chest, of course, just a single rupee, so 3 chests to go. Furaime needs to hope that it's in one of these 3 chests behind the Armos Knight second fight. Or he's in a bit of trouble. Hold your breath. Nope. Nope. Yes!
Whoa!
17! Number 17, the very last chest he could open. Furaime gets it, and we'll be heading up Ganon's Tower, sub 1 hour. Oh, that was a single chest away from being a complete disaster.
So with that, Furaime is on pace to be very close to Gloin's time, I think. A 107 is pretty likely, I think, from him.
I think so. We'll have to probably double check on Gloin's time. I forget exactly what it is. But yeah, he's gonna be marching up through the gauntlet here. And Furaime making the huge gamble that he did not need the Cane of Samaria. It will make actually make two of the rooms a little bit harder. But I have no real suspicion that Furaime's going to get stumped by not having the cane to go through those Wizard rooms in the gauntlet.
The thing that's a little bit disappointing is JCopes is on fantastic pace as well. I mean, he's only one crystal away from being finished as well and heading up Ganon's Tower, with an hour in. So just fantastic. With the way the seed laid out, it was going to be a fast run for both runners.
Yeah, I think Furaime may not be able to get that 107 now, having a little bit of trouble in some of the rooms here. Some of the enemies being a little trolly. Like the Lambo is taking shots for one another there.
So opting to use the blue goo there for Furaime makes sense. Low on hearts there.
Making it nicely through that first satisfying room into the second most satisfying room in the game. Wow, that's really nicely done.
Yeah, it's not often that you have to use an alternative to the Cane of Samaria, but it seems that Furaime has practiced for a scenario such as this.
It's actually a really good thing to practice for. Being able to adjust kind of on the fly to the situation at hand is really the key to the mastering rando, and just knowing what to do in those situations. Like, hey, I don't have the Cane of Samaria. How do I get through these Wizard rooms that I normally use the cane for? That's just an easy way to do that.
And it was also like maximum swag, so I was very impressed with that.
Indeed. And Furaime gonna be popping out the hook shot there. Nicely done. So this tells us one thing, and one thing importantly: Furaime does not know or is not totally comfortable with hovering across that gap. And he's already at Ganon. Not Ganon, but Aghanim will be at Ganon shortly. So how he does at this point is going to be really dependent upon how the patterns work out here for him. Starting off with a 1.
Looks like a pretty good pattern here. Just a 1, unfortunately, as well.
2. So he's got 4 hits. Ooh, this could be good. 5, 6. There we go. Nicely done. So can he 107? I think so. I think with the kill here, he's got 2.5 minute buffer to get through Ganon. I think he can do that. So we may be looking at I don't know if we see sub 107, but 107 something is certainly on the table right now.
Yeah, this is just a fabulous run from Furaime for sure.
Yeah, like we'll be looking at sub 110 pretty much guaranteed at this point, unless he falls or dies.
Already into phase 2 here.
Using those dash strats to really get some extra hits in here. And phase 3 already. Doing good work. So Ganon teleports at this point will really determine, I think, how quick he finishes this up. He's already on 3 hits. There's 4. Okay, super friendly. Get some doubles in here. Oh, ooh, gotta be careful, gotta be careful. Oh no.
No!
No, he fell. Well, there goes that 107. I think he was probably... I think that's going to be disappointing because I think he probably was on pace if he gets some doubles. It looks like he was trying to set up the double there at the start. I think he was on pace possibly for maybe a sub 107 or maybe even like a 107 20 or 30 or something like that. A really good run. This will still be good.
Yeah, this is still a fantastic run, but oh man, that would have been awesome to see. It probably would have been a 106.
Yeah, that easily would have been tournament best time so far. He'll still get a really good time. He'll probably still be this probably still be the second best time at the very least.
Yeah.
Or best time with a Ganon fall.
Yeah, really.
I'm pretty sure.
New category.
Yeah, 100% Ganon toss. Or any percent Ganon toss, I guess you can say. Alright, so he's in a little better spot this time for the set that up. I think he's gonna go ahead and probably play maybe a little more safe here. He gets a double. One more to go. He's still gonna get a 107. Oh my goodness, with the fall. So that would have been a sub 107 without that fall.
Yeah, absolute clinic here from Furaime. Put your GGs in the chat.
Oh my goodness. So let's get the official SRTV time on that. That's going to be a official SRTV time for Furaime of 107.34. I'm gonna have to go back and check what Gloin's time was, if it was a high 107 or if it was a slightly lower 107 than that.
Yeah, just a excellent run. Seed was generous, so I mean it was going to be quick either way. I mean we see JCopes here putting in an excellent effort as well, heading up to Ganon's Tower at he's 108 here, but just perfectly executed by Furaime for sure. So Furaime is generally not one to show up for an interview, but might be poking around in the chat there. So if you do see Furaime in there and you have a question, let him know maybe. And if we see him, maybe we'll ask as well.
Indeed, chat telling us it was a 107.11. Furaime, can I just forfeit? I don't deserve that. No, you can't forfeit because that was the thing that happened. And you took advantage of the generosity of the seed. So let's see here. Maybe we can ask. Well, since Furaime's in chat, maybe we can ask about why they might have skipped the pedestal check in race number 1, if that was just a calculated gamble.
Meanwhile, JCopes is gonna go left side here, so gonna get down to our most nice chests pretty just a little while here, maybe a couple minutes.
Frame, just one word, literally, forgot.
Yes, even the best of the best players can forget from time to time.
Yeah, so also since Frame is listening in, may as well ask, how did you feel about that GT Big Key location being the very last place that you could check within GT without having to go find that Ganon of Samaria? Was that just was that nerve-wracking looking for it? Yeah, welcome King of Spies. Yes, that was a 107. This was a very fast, very fast and generous seed. And in fact, Frame had a fall on Ganon and was looking at a 106, actually. Possibly. Frame saying, got scared and only had one key going into Ice Armos because logically being locked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That is, yeah, scary.
So yeah, Uncle's gonna be right. Uncle's gonna be right. This is a sub 2 seed. Almost a sub 1 seed in some respects.
Yeah, really.
I really want to see what Frame's item check number is. It'll be a little bit higher because of having to check all of those GT chests, but it's going to be a very low number.
Yeah, everything is going to be crazy low. I'm looking at. I want to see item menu time as well. I think that's going to be interesting. Should be pretty low.
And also the whiz robes. Yeah, that was a very nice nice navigation through that room that you did there with the whiz robes. You know, JCopes is about to find that big key. It was kind of funny that Uncle's flavor text there ended up being true. That doesn't really have any real indication there. It's not a hint or anything. It's just kind of a nice coincidence.
Alrighty, so JCopes finds his big key and is heading up Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I don't know if Frame knows where the Cane of Samaria was.
Oh, I thought
matter.
I saw him mention it that he saw that chat was pointing out it was in Thieves Town, so he was aware. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Walked right past it there at the beginning, but thankfully did not need it. Yeah, this seed, I think, unfortunately, this is one of those things where like we don't have the seed, so we can't be like, hey guys, here's a seed, you can play it now. But I feel like it's one of those seeds that, you know, with a little tighter routing, could easily be a sub 1.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to like gamble everything. But if it was routed to like maximum efficiency, then yeah, I could see it being a little lower than this time even.
Indeed, JCopes now making the journey up through Gauntlet, and I love the people in chat who thought they'd probably come in a little bit late and be like, you know, I'm sure that it'll be going an hour in. I'm on my way home from work, or out with dinner with family. I'll get the check everything in a moment. And they come in, Frame's already got this done as a 107, and they're just like, what happened?
Yeah, totally. JCopes getting a little unlucky with the last guy in the gauntlet there, but gets through.
So under 2 minutes of total menu time there.
That's fantastic.
117 on the collection rate. Holy cow. So, yeah, considering that there were 16 chest locations opened up in GT, only 101 spots checked in the overworld. That's really low.
Yeah. So JCopes has the advantage of having Canis and Maria here for these Wizrobe rooms, so he's going to use the normal strats to take care of them there.
Making his way to torch room here, and yes, indeed. Let's keep cheering JCopes on here. Let's not forget he's still going to run this out. He's still going to have a excellent time at this point. This could be probably around 120, somewhere in there, which is still 20 minutes faster than even my PB.
Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah. Really nice taking care of those mini Helmosaurs there. Looks like Moldarm's gonna be no problem here. JCopes let him have it a bit with the hook shot there.
You know, JCopes getting pretty good, pretty good RNG here on this fight for Anka 2. Looks like trying to set up the angle is just not quite getting it so well. But there we go. There's 6.
Nice. So as JCopes heads towards the Ganon fight, just a quick shout out to our tracker today, Reg, taking care of pushing the buttons behind the scenes there. Thanks a lot for that.
So I do have one question, Frame. I know Frame's listening. There's a possibility if you win your next round match against Christus or Justin, and the other match in your bracket goes the other way, you could, there's a small possibility that we could get in top 8 with a chance to get the top 4. We could get Frame versus Kyong. You could be facing your teammate. Not sure how well you've been keeping track of the bracket pairings at this point, but there's a possibility. He's a little afraid of that, maybe.
JCopes got to be careful here. We've got a couple of potions to pop if we need to, so make sure to make use of those.
Indeed, looking pretty good so far. So he's got the safeties. Did you find the arrows in Light World? Ooh, getting a really nice stun there right off the bat. Oh, missed the torch glitch, but that should be okay. Set this up. Oh, ooh, careful. Careful, good. Double, oh, going for a triple. Just missed out, but he's got this now.
Alrighty, great work by JCopes4Life here. Put your GDs in the chat, finishing up with an SRTV time.
Let's get that officially in here.
1:20:21.
Still a oh hey, it's you. I love that message, but still a very, very good and super respectable time there for JCopes. That's, I think, in most races, a 120 probably wins you the race. It just so happens that the seed was so quick that it just happened to be a little bit too slow. But you know, that's kind of the way Rando works sometimes.
Yeah, and it looks like JCopes will be joining us for an interview. So let's pull him in and hear his thoughts on this one.
Bling 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 bling. JCopes, you there?
I am here.
How you doing, man? GG. Boy, that second seed. Oh my goodness, that was a race. That was a jet seed.
That was a seed, all right. I'm still a little baffled by it. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, it was so front loaded. We started to think that maybe there was something that was gonna troll both of you and Furaime, but it just didn't. It never really came to that. It was jet all the way through and through.
Oh, I was looking at my tracker and I was thinking, is it just flippers that I need?
Yeah.
Like I had to keep looking at it because like this just doesn't feel right. I mean, if big key's on right side, I need Kane, but aside from that, I think it's just flippers.
Yeah, that was all you were looking for, and they were sitting there in the mire shed just waiting for you. Furaime did make the gamble about not needing Kane for anything, and turned out to be a decision that paid off in the end because it was in the last possible chest that they could have checked.
Yeah, it just kind of came down to the dungeon order for you guys, and kind of, I guess, your general checks of locations that made the difference, because it was such an open seat, giving you everything right off the bat there. Because you had the mirror first, and Furaime was looking for that when Furaime had the flippers in hand a little earlier than you did. But because the mirror was an EP there, he picked that up a little sooner than you did, picking up flippers in Mire Shed. So it kind of came down to just kind of a decision like that, more or less.
Oh yeah, looking back at it, I think there was probably a lot of ways the seed could have been done, or the routing could have been done in this seed.
Yeah, very front heavy on the items. Just even with the normal routing, it would have been like a super fast seed no matter what.
I was so banking on being able to go mode Thieves Town too. I'm so disappointed I never got that opportunity.
Yeah,
I've yet to have that.
It's such a rare occurrence to go mode Thieves Town, so that would have been interesting. But no, you still had to clear out everything, unfortunately.
One day, one day I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this was almost actually a tournament record seed from Furaime's side. He had a fall on Ganon, so just barely missed out on getting a sub 107, which would have been the fastest run in the tournament so far, I think.
Yeah, that's a tad unfortunate, but nonetheless, it's still an excellent time to achieve.
Yeah, and I mean, even your 120s, even, you know, we were talking about this just a moment ago. Your 120 is nothing to sneeze at. That's.
Oh, I'm very proud of that too. That's an all-time PB for me.
I was gonna say, is that a PB for you? Because yeah, that would be a PB for a lot of people. That'd be a race-winning time for a lot of people. a significant race winning time, like a 7 or 8 minute, race in pretty much any seed. But it's just one of those weird things where this was like a super jet seed, and a 120 is like really slow for some reason for that. But I mean, you still put on a heck of a show, and PB, the first race was really, really close too. You and Furaime were kind of going at it there. I think you guys were in the middle of each other at one point, going up toward Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I think we finished about 2 minutes apart for the first one there.
Yeah, 225 was the gap for the first race. So certainly was not like a bad effort at all, JCopes, on your part. You put on a heck of a show, man.
Oh, I'm very proud of how I performed today.
Absolutely, got to the top 32, so that's certainly is noteworthy. So I guess with this being the end of the road for you right now in the current tournaments, you have any thoughts on kind of how everything went overall for you? 5-2 in the Swiss rounds, getting to top 32 in the bracket stage. Was this your expectation? Did you completely exceed your expectations for such a big and really, to be honest, really stacked tournament here?
I far surpassed what I thought I'd be able to. I didn't even think I'd make it to the brackets. I was expecting probably about a 4-3 through the Swiss. So I feel overall I performed a lot better than I anticipated.
That's excellent, man, for sure.
Absolutely, always good to kind of set that bar for the next tournament whenever that comes around. Just to be like, okay, I got top 32 this time. Maybe next time I can push top 16, or I can have a good run. So it's great to hear that you set a brand new PB tonight. You had a really good run through the tournament, exceeded expectations. I would certainly say that I'm sure chat would agree with me that you did yourself really proud. You did the great country of Canada really proud as well. So
thank you.
You'll be getting a visit from Prime Minister Trudeau in just a few days. Present you with the Canadian merit of speedrunning. Rando.
I'll be expecting him. Yeah, I would just like to say, I would just like to congratulate Furaime for moving on into the top 16.
Indeed. And another good thing to think about here is you don't have to worry about possibly facing Christos in the next round, or Justin.
Yeah, I guess that's a point too.
Yeah. I'm just kidding there. But 125 collection rate, so yeah, this was a very, very fast seed.
Yeah, this is an all-time PB. Like I'm very surprised at how fast it was.
It's always nice to get a jet seat every now and then. It kind of reaffirms that you got the goods to actually take care of this game. So, job well done.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should start wrapping it up here. So shout outs to both of our runners. This was a fantastic race to commentate. So please give them a follow, Furaime and JCopes. Excellent job all around. I want to give a shout out to our tracker, Reg, for clicking those buttons. Thanks, man. And my co-commentator, Nihon Tiger. Thanks a lot, man. This is a real treat to co-commentate with you. And I think that's going to do it for me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sabatender. Of course, give Sabo a follow as well. Really swell guy. So, Furaime moves on. Furaime moves on. I could speak right to the top 16 with a date against either Christos Owen or Justin Z. Whoever comes out of that pairing, and then the winner of that, the winner of that top 16 matchup will face the winner of Salty Fry and Kyong 92, which will also be next week. So we'll get to see some more rando then. So once again, say congratulations, or perhaps in his native tongue, parabéns to Furaime for a well-deserved victory with that 107 time. That was just incredible work. But that will wrap it up, and this is the last race of the night. So I know we've got a lot of rando coming up this weekend. I'll keep this nice and short here, but I think we've got some matches early tomorrow. Let's see here. Yeah, game 3 of Elaine versus Andy is tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. And we've got, after that, Glowing and Spoony Biscuit is at 2. Gamer Cal and TGH. Game 1 of a doubleheader there. So we've got quite a bit lined up tomorrow afternoon. And it looks like game 3 of Zero Rush ACMLM is going to cap things off tomorrow. So for Sabotender, for Reg, for Frame, JCopes, everybody involved here, good night, good luck, good gaming. Remember, somebody out there loves you, and we love you too. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye.